Welcome to ChatGPT Reality Check, your weekly global update. From rising conflicts and climate disasters to cybersecurity threats and global power shifts, here are the top 10 most important news stories from June 15th to June 22nd, 2025. 1. G7 Summit confronts Israel-Iran tensions. The G7 summit took place in Kananaskis, Canada this week, with global leaders discussing the escalating conflict between Israel and Iran. No unified statement was released, but the UK and Canada signed a new trade and defense agreement. Talks also addressed climate cooperation and economic stability, though tensions with President Trump stalled joint resolutions. 2. Iran-Israel strikes. Spark global concern. Israel carried out major airstrikes on Iranian military and nuclear sites, triggering a direct retaliation from Iran. Over 220 civilians were killed and more than 1,000 injured in the Iranian response. Iran launched missile attacks and drones toward Israel, while warning the US, UK, and France to stay out of the conflict. Oil prices spiked by over 7%, with global markets reacting nervously to the escalation. 3. China issues. First red flood alert of 2025, eastern China experienced severe rainfall and flooding this week, triggering the country's first red flood warning of the year. Hydrological authorities warned of dangerous river levels and billions in potential damage. This event adds to the growing global pattern of extreme weather fueled by climate change. 4. Floods. Kill nearly 100 in South Africa. Deadly floods struck South Africa's Eastern Cape region, with at least 92 people confirmed dead. Torrential rains and snowstorms caused widespread destruction, cutting off towns and damaging roads. The government declared a national disaster, and aid workers continue search and rescue efforts amid ongoing severe weather. 5. Iran-aligned cyber threats target. US and Europe. Cybersecurity agencies warned of increased attacks from Iranian-linked hackers targeting critical infrastructure. Sectors including telecommunications, energy, and finance were placed on high alert. Microsoft responded by offering free cyber defense tools to governments, while NATO and the EU began fast-tracking new digital defense protocols. 6. Spain and Portugal. Grid blackout report released. An official investigation concluded that the widespread blackout in Spain and Portugal on April 28th was caused by an overvoltage event, not a cyber attack. 35,000 passengers were stranded, and multiple hospitals operated on backup generators. Authorities have now committed to strengthening grid stability across the region. 7. NATO expands global presence. NATO ended its mission in Libya and reinforced deployments in Eastern Europe this week. Australia committed to increased defense spending, while Canada hit its 2% GDP defense target ahead of schedule. The alliance is now expanding its focus beyond Europe to include global operations. 8. Trump presses trade demands at G7. During the G7 summit, President Trump called for major changes to U.S. trade relations with the EU and Japan. He threatened new tariffs unless existing agreements are restructured. Tensions ran high during the summit, but no trade resolution was reached by week's end. 9. U.S. steel tariffs. Hit domestic business. U.S. furniture retailer At Home filed for bankruptcy this week, citing the impact of high steel tariffs. Meanwhile, the acquisition of U.S. steel was finalized, bringing new management oversight into the American industrial sector. These developments highlight the ripple effects of evolving U.S. trade policy. 10. Canada boosts defense spending ahead of NATO summit. Prime Minister Mark Carney announced that Canada will meet NATO's 2% spending requirement this year, 5 years ahead of the original target. The move is part of a broader shift in Canadian foreign policy, signaling a stronger global defense posture ahead of upcoming summits. That's your ChatGPT Reality Check for the week of June 15th to June 22. From military escalations to climate and cybersecurity crises, the world continues to shift fast. Subscribe now for weekly AI-powered breakdowns and stay one step ahead.